Boom. Okay, let's go. What up, everybody? It's NFL Fantasy Today show. I'm your host, John Mosales. Got my man Anthony Fresh, aka Anthony Quaranta, aka AQ Fresh. I'm really bad at that. It's week 7. I went, I think, 6-1 in all my leagues last week. Lost the only one I really care about, the big money one. But regardless, we got a lot to talk about today. We'll do a little review from last week. We'll preview the week ahead. We're going to do some kind of comparison stuff, maybe redraft the first round, look at some wide receiver ranks, and then Anthony's going to pull up his best ball kind of stashes, and we're going to look at some of his what your exposure rate and see, good draft, bad draft, whatever. So, Anthony, what's up?
Not much. Excited to kind of do a little bit more of a deep dive into the best ball stuff. I definitely look at it every week, but I don't take there's so much going on now that it's in the season as far as the managed leagues and writing the waiver wire article and managing my league. So I haven't had time to really kind of talk too much about my best ball. So excited about that. Just happy to be here. I did go every time I'm on a podcast. Y'all always talk about how you did that week, and I never know. So I made sure that I prepared today, and it's a good week. I went 9-3.
9-3 is pretty good.
Yeah, I went 9-3. So it was a good week. I think I lost both of our Sports Ethos leagues, though, or I think I might have won one of them. But
I was playing in one, and I dusted you. So
yeah, you definitely did. I saw that. It wasn't good.
I think that might be my Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, Rico Dowdle team, which almost pretty much scored 100 points, the three of them.
That's no wonder why I got toasted. That's incredible.
That was a good week. So let's just kick off right now. Let's just do some best ball stuff.
Cool.
What are some of the biggest differences? Like, who stands out in best ball that maybe isn't standing out in redraft and vice versa this year? Like, where are the big deltas? And explain the difference, why there would be differences, because I don't really know.
Yeah, sure. So, Trey Tucker's is the name that is just the first thing that comes to my mind. He had that 46, I think, point performance as a last round pick in best ball, free, not really drafted in a lot of drafts. Like 1 week and he's already paid off. Like he's already paid off his ADP for the season. And anything you get after that is kind of cake. And he has had some decent, flex weeks aside from that one big week. But he's not somebody that you probably got to take advantage of in your managed leagues, like your redraft or dynasty or keeper. Because look, like nobody drafted Trey Tucker, nobody rostered Trey Tucker until he scored 3 touchdowns in a week. And then all of a sudden, everybody picked him up. We're all chasing that high, me included. You've gotten a couple 9-point performances, which is fine for a flex play, but you kind of probably already missed out on the big Trey Tucker week. Whereas in best ball, he was your wide receiver 1.
That makes so much sense. That actually is a great way to explain it. So yeah, so the great guys on the wire, you don't get them until after they perform most of the time.
Correct.
And best ball, you get them right away. Audio's giving me a little kickback.
Oh yeah, let me unplug. That should probably be better. Sometimes my microphone does it. Another player we can just discuss real quick in that same vein is Rico Dowdle. He was definitely drafted in probably 99% of best ball drafts, right?
Oh, best ball, yeah.
Yeah, best ball, because he was like a 15th round pick, I think. So maybe few and far between undrafted, but regardless, obviously best ball, you only got the good weeks, which was the past. So you got those 2 30-point performances. Now I'm sure that some people certainly got both of them. In a lot of leagues, he was probably not picked up until after his first breakout, and then you had to decide if you thought he was going to do it again. And maybe you got one, maybe you got both, maybe you missed out on both. But that's just another player I think of as the big difference between best ball and redraft for value that you've gotten so far this season.
Okay, that's perfect. So what about with the QBs? Because we had this QB apocalypse. I remember we did a draft. I made you draft Joe Flacco late to be our QB3. He probably hasn't even registered, right? He wouldn't have outplayed the other 2 we would have gotten. But how do the back and QBs factor into best ball? Whereas in redraft, in super flex leagues, they've been super valuable. You haven't, in 1 QB leagues, I don't think you really started any of them at any point.
No. So, they're really beneficial if you waited and did try to get some value taking late quarterbacks. Like I know I have at least one room somewhere where I have Michael Penix, Sam Darnold, who has been incredible. I think he's a top 12 quarterback. And then I have Jackson Dart on the back end of that. A lot of folks in best ball, especially early on, weren't drafting Jackson Dart, right? He was kind of a project quarterback. Russell Wilson was there to be a placeholder, though no one had a ton of faith. Like, it's not right. And they had Jameis. Like, there was, the thought was he probably really won't play much this year, right? So in best ball, like if you took him, or at least he wouldn't play till I didn't expect him to play in week 4. I'll say that. I thought it'd take longer. So in best ball, if you took him earlier before the hype kind of started and people took him a little bit more later, you could get you might have a really unique team if you can make it to the playoffs and Jackson Dart exposed in the playoffs is like the quarterback 2 in the playoffs. That's huge. Whereas in, your managed leagues, I guess it's kind of the same thing, but he's rostered everywhere. So it gives you kind of just a little bit more of an advantage in best ball.
Okay, and that's the big one. I think you are on your day one, Danny Dimes.
I am. I feel so vindicated over Daniel Jones.
You got me. I got on the train. You're like, there's some seats. They're expensive, but I'll clear them for you. And I got on because it made a lot of sense. Anthony Richardson. I love that offense, and I was, it makes a lot of sense. So I got Danny Dimes in a couple redraft leagues. You can start him in 1 QB, but in Superflex, he pretty much is is he the best player in Superflex based on where value and production?
Yeah, he was still like in Superflex, he wasn't free per se, but he was. Other than off the top of my head for best ball drafts, other than Jackson Dart, who didn't start week 1, like Daniel Jones was the last like starting quarterback available. And if you want to give me like a couple seconds to check, I can tell you exactly where he fits in this season.
And how many did you get? Is he your highest percentage?
He's not my highest percentage quarterback. Daniel Jones is actually QB7 on the year, so what a steal. No, it's definitely in one quarterback leagues, it's absolutely Michael Penix. I'm trying to pull it up now. I can share my screen if you want, if that'd be beneficial.
Yes.
Okay. Give me a second. I'll do that, and then we can chat about it, and we can kind of just dive into the best ball bit. If that makes sense.
So, guys, if you're watching, hit us with questions. We're not just going to do all best ball. He's a best ball guy. I love best ball, and I learn some stuff every time we talk. And maybe we did a couple drafts. Maybe we can check on those teams. That'd be cool. But so, hit us up with questions. If you're on Twitter, come over to YouTube, like, subscribe, do the whole thing. But if you got trade questions, start sits, anything, we'll definitely do those. But for now, let's dive in here. Boom. Add to stage. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll just kind of start with the quarterbacks. Talking about Daniel Jones specifically, I thought he was a bit higher, but overall, took him 37 times, drafted about 7%, which is, for a guy that actually was going undrafted a lot of the time. You see his ADP was 201. 7% is actually probably more than a lot of people have. Although if you want to get technical with the, 1/12 of every round, 8% is the field. But for late guys, like 7%, it's probably pretty decent for Daniel Jones.
So do you think that was probably earlier when you were drafted in April, March or something? You were probably like 30, 35. And then when people started to realize Jones is going to start, Anthony Richardson sucks and was hurt, his ADP probably just kept climbing, right?
Yeah, so his ADP climbed for a while, and then it fell whenever Anthony Richardson was healthy again. And they both kind of settled towards the back. This is my pre-drafts best ball, where I have Daniel Jones in 16% of the draft. So I didn't do nearly as many. He's only 42 compared to the 500-plus post-draft. So the pre-draft, that's pre-NFL draft. So like anywhere, I started drafting in March. So March and April, I took him 16% of my drafts, so I was pretty high on him. So, overall, I'm definitely happy with the Daniel Jones exposure. I think it's probably a big win for me, but we'll have to see how it translates to advancing to week 15 and beyond ultimately.
So let's say that big win. So what are your other big wins? Because I feel like, everyone likes to talk that, I like this guy, but, at least the good thing about best ball is like, you can show your work, right?
Yes.
So you got big Rico Dowdle.
That one sticks out at the moment, coming off 2 back-to-back 30-point weeks. You see my highest exposed player.
Quickly, just with the Rico, like what were you like when he starts going off that week? Because it's not like you have him in one league; you have him in like 200, right?
I can tell you, I can click on him and I can tell you, out of 519 drafts, I have him in 202.
Yeah.
So yes, I have quite a bit of Rico Dowdle.
Are you going nuts when he's going off for 200?
I'm ecstatic. ecstatic every time I see him make a big player score a touchdown. I definitely do. I do have 14% Chuba Hubbard, so I'm definitely invested there. So like that's kind of a bummer. But I mean, 39% Rico Dowdle. Like I'm much happier that Rico Dowdle is kind of smashing right now, and I'll worry
Okay,
about the Chuba
let's
Hubbard.
go wide receivers. Let's see some good dunks.
The biggest wide receiver win for me
Oh.
is Jackson Smith and Jigba, 18%. He was going in like the 3-4 turn. That's probably my biggest win.
Why did you like him so much?
He was going to be he was always going to be a target monster. I mean, I didn't think Sam Darnold was going to be as good as he was in Minnesota. I kind of thought, he was probably a product of that offense, but he was obviously better than he was in the beginning of his career. And, JSN is really the only target in that offense. I was never really big into Cooper Kupp once he got moved there. Kind of just spelled the end for me. Once Sean McVay got rid of the guy that he probably loved more than anybody, I just wasn't feeling great about it.
So you're not giving me any credit? Remember when we had on and I said he's a top 5 wide receiver this season? You're like, top 5? Whoa!
Heck, yeah, you did. You're right. You did play a role in persuading me a bit. I wasn't as high on him as you were. So I appreciate you getting him up into my top 5 wide receiver exposures, but he's probably definitely my biggest win. It was a great call by both of us. You definitely did start the JSN train, though. You were all over it. So I love that one. Egbuka as well down here at 15, almost 16%. He started for the post-draft stuff. I was taking him in like the late 90s. He ended up climbing all the way up to, I think, like the 50s somewhere. So a lot of times for me on my teams, he's probably my wide receiver 4, 5, 6, opposed to my wide receiver like 2 or 3. So that feels like a really big win, especially because you see Malik Neighbors and Xavier Worthy are my top 2 wide receivers, right?
Didn't you have a bunch of Ricky Pearsall too?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I had to scroll down a little bit. Ricky Pearsall as well. So my top 3 wide receivers, obviously Worthy. Well, all 3 of them, I guess, kind of due to injury and just, some different things. Ricky Pearsall is just kind of disappointed in general.
So he's been good when he plays.
Yeah, sure. But so hitting on Egbuka in, the later rounds, having 3 misses with my 3 highest exposures, like that feels really good to me. Right there. And so does Rome down here at 13.9. Another guy that you just got to feel really good about. Cortland Sutton down here at 13.3%, and so on. So, receiver was kind of hit or miss, but overall, we're making it work. Give me 2 seconds. I got to let my dog out. So
Okay. I wish I could play with this a little bit, but yeah. So we were pretty aligned on a lot of stuff here. Like Rome, I've been day one Rome. I got Rome in every league except for the one league Anthony got him in. He's just been propelling my team, and it's just the value. If you get if you can hit a guy late, right? Maybe just inside or outside the 100, that's giving you. It's NBA is more using the top 20. We don't really use that, but maybe who's giving you what? Just wide receiver 1 production, right? You draft Rome as a wide receiver 4 flex, and he gives you wide receiver 1 production, wide receiver 2. That kind of jump can solve all your problems and also cover up if you took like a Neighbors or if you lost Lamb or all the other crazy wide receiver injuries. So let's pivot to wide receivers. Unless do you have any more you want to touch on this right now?
Not off the top of my head for wide receivers. I think we're probably good there. I don't know if you want to touch on tight ends. No one really cares too much about the tight ends, but or if you wanted to move on to another.
Yeah, it's just the top wide receivers. So what do you think it's kind of the second year in a row we've had this kind of weird wide receiver kind of fall off out of nowhere. Like, do you think there's something to it, or it's just like a 2-year blip? Because this year's even crazier, right? Lamb's out, Nico hasn't been great, Neighbors out, Tyreek out, Brian Thomas Jr. Hasn't been good. All right, Mike Evans hurt, and then there's probably 5 more I'm not even thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's always tough to predict injuries, right? With some of the top guys, Puka's now hurt. Puka's expected to miss a couple weeks, so that's always kind of tough to really kind of think about per se.
Also, and then AJ Brown also, failure one.
It's not that good. So I mean, I don't know if it's becoming a trend or a blip. I just think football's a physical game. Guys obviously get bigger and faster every year. There's the battle with the turf, especially at MetLife, right? And so that's kind of a bummer. And then you also kind of look at a guy like Jamar Chase, right? I think he's still in the top 10. So he's still having, he's still having a good year. He's had 2 good weeks, but it's not. I mean, Joe Burrow going out really hampers that entire offense. So now it's like, I mean, at least moving forward, you have to bake that into Jamar Chase's ADP. Burrow's health, who's proven that behind that makeshift offensive line, like they just can't keep him healthy consistently. So like I don't know what to make of it, because like you said, it was last year a bit, and now it's this year even more.
But that's more just an adjustment, right? In terms of like with healthy Burrow, he's above Jefferson. Without Burrow, he's kind of there with Jefferson, where it's like they got these middling, below average QBs, but they're still QB proof, right? Like Chase is still 80 touchdown, but with Burrow, he's 252 touchdown ceiling. Now he's kind of maybe 152 touchdown. And a lot of it's matchup and stuff. I'm not really that worried about Chase. It's just with Burrow, you get the supernova potential. But so who's if you could have any wide receiver on your team right now, who would you take?
Are we including like guys that are hurt? Like I'm not going to say Puka because he's probably going to miss a couple weeks. They said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's got to be JSN, right?
Right.
Like JSN, like maybe Amon-Ra. Like those are the 2 guys that jump. Like those are the 2 guys that jump out at me that like are probably like my top 2 at the moment.
What about our guy Drake London? Right? I think he was the only wide receiver to make a catch. Him and Bijan had like 400 of like the 450 yards. I mean, right? Penix is back to hyper targeting him. I mean, London, watching that game, London was open, catching everything. At least he's back, right? Because we were both. You started on the Atlanta train. I jumped on, and then I had London and JSN right there.
Yeah, London is definitely in the upper echelon in the top tier, one of the handful of wide receivers that I would pick over kind of everybody else. I think I just don't have him quite with JSN and Amon-Ra because the Falcons' offense, I still think they're going to be really good. It hasn't been as good as I would like it to have been. And I saw a stat today that I forgot what London's numbers are without Darnell Mooney playing, but he's incredible, right? And when Darnell Mooney is in, they both average like 57 yards a game. So that's also like I saw that stat and it kind of gave me a little bit of pause as far as vaulting him into like that number 1 tier. Because like what if Mooney like comes back, he plays, he's healthy for the most of the rest of the season. Like what does that actually look like now for Drake London? But I think he's talented enough to overcome it, and Penix will hopefully continue to hyper target him. But just that slight concern.
I mean,
very much up there.
I think most of these wide receivers are all in kind of the similar tier. They're all crazy athletes, and it's the QB part that really can hamper them or put them over the top, right? Even Puka, that's why I didn't want Puka. He's injury prone. Stafford's injury prone. Now Puka's hurt. Stafford might be wearing down, right? Garrett Wilson's like wide receiver 7 on the season, but he's got Justin Fields who can't get him the ball. So
and now he's hurt too. I think I saw.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's been tough sailing, but when you're talking about like the top tier guys and you're trying to put them in an order, you kind of have to nitpick a little bit, right? It's not like I'm talking smack on London or the Falcons, but just answering the question, like I would be happy with any of them as my wide receiver 1. But
my biggest problem with Drake is how good the Falcons defense is.
Yes, they've been surprisingly like electric this season. Like
it's insane. So they are giving up the lead. Let's see. Sorry, yards. 780. They have the bye week, but 782 passing yards. Do you guess how much the Cowboys have given up?
1,600.
Yeah, 1,719. Right, that's almost 1,000 more. Like it's just a crazy.
It's double.
Number.
It's over double.
Way over. It's almost closer to triple than double. Or wait, no, it's not. But so it's just you really look like an old school shootout with the Falcons. Maybe it's not that real a number, but it's just nuts. This Atlanta team, like statistically, they're the best team in the NFL.
I'm not surprised. I believe I said that was going to happen this summer.
No, but
you're talking about the defense. I'm so sorry. You're talking about the defense.
Well, I'm saying both. But statistically, they're the best team in the NFL because their offense is I think like top 3, top 2. That one shutout's their only bad game, and their defense is top 1, top 2. So like by DVOA, by every metric, they're the best team in the NFL. But they're not the best team in the NFL. But
sure, yeah, no, yeah, that's always something to consider as well, is the defense. Like obviously, we love Dallas because they have a terrible defense and their passing game is just awesome, right? Same thing with the Bengals, obviously when they had Joe Burrow, but so yeah, that's something to consider as well. I think you're a bit bigger on that than I am per se, but it definitely, again, when you're talking about the top 5 guys and putting them in an order, that's certainly a very valid thing to nitpick at, and putting him below maybe a JSN or somebody.
Yeah, I mean JSN I think is one. I don't think he's ever missed a game. Darnold's throwing downfield. The Seattle offense is kind of weird because they're just last year. Kenneth Walker had, I think, doubled his career high in receptions. Then Charbonnet was involved, and now you're getting 2 running back targets a game total. So it's weird. So what would you rather do? Would you rather just have let's say you get Daniel Jones every week, or you get the quarterback playing the Dallas Cowboys?
Ooh, boy. I think I'd probably, without looking at Dallas's schedule, probably Daniel Jones.
Okay.
Just because, like, I would like to look at Dallas's schedule, because if they have some terrible, if they play some terrible quarterbacks, and that doesn't really do a whole lot. Whereas at least I know Daniel Jones has been really good. He's been in a good situation. They have a lot of talent. He should continue to be steady.
Okay. I'm just everyone's got loves all these crazy advanced numbers and stuff. Sometimes I like just the simple raw numbers. If we go just to defense passing, yes, what team's given up the least amount of passing touchdowns, and what do you think the number is? The team's not shocking. The number is.
The number is shocking. The team is not. Denver.
Good guess. Houston.
Okay, that's a good guess. How many? And they've let up 4.
3, right?
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Over 6 games, 3 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, bye week, right?
Oh, okay. So 5 games. Still, 3 touchdowns in 5 games.
32nd, I think you can guess.
Dallas.
And I guess how many?
18.
Yeah, 15, right? So it's just how much would you factor that in when fantasy? If you got okay, let's say you got Daniel Jones playing Houston, right? Division game, they play twice. Would you be scared off by that? Or would you take Joe Flacco playing Dallas over?
I would think I would take Daniel Jones.
Really?
Yeah, I think just the rushing floor. I mean, that's so tough because, Dallas's defense is bad. The Bengals' offensive line is equally bad. Joe Flacco isn't very good, but he has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to throw to. That's really close. I think I would lean Daniel Jones though.
Okay, and then on the other side, so rushing, who's given up the least rushing yards? What do you think it is? It's a very good team.
I don't want to double down and say Denver, although that's kind of my first guess. Very good team.
Some people love them.
Good teams. Why am I drawing a blank here? It's obviously not the Texans. The Packers?
Yeah. yeah.
Oh, I didn't even catch the love bit. That's funny. Packers, okay.
365 rushing yards, right? So and then worst is Miami. They're giving up 1,000, right? So it's just the delta in these numbers is it just seems crazy to me. I don't remember checking the year last year or seeing, but almost 3 times more rushing yards. So would you start? Let's do Josh Jacob. Oh no, he'd be playing them. Let's say Devin and Miami's playing Green Bay. Would you take Devin and Chain, or would you take Rico Dowdle playing Cincinnati?
Probably Rico Dowdle.
Right?
Dude just put up 30 points back to back. It's almost 400 yards. It's over 400 total yards in 2 games. It's hard to bench Reed. If you ask me Rico or anybody right now, it's going to be hard not to say Rico.
Yeah, that's true. It's just I feel like.
But yeah, the point is taken.
Yeah, the matchup. It's just the matchup. It just seems once you get enough information, the matchup is just so important, right? And it's just because some people we get stuck in last year's track. So it's like the best teams against the rush: Packers, Texans, Seattle Browns, Patriots, right, and then Bucks, Broncos. So that all makes sense. That all tracks, right? But then it's like Bills are terrible versus the run. Cowboys, Bengals, Ravens, Eagles. Eagles are like the sixth, seventh worst team against the run. For last year, I think they were, top 3 against the run. So it's
they
like
were dominant. That's
I think people are late to adjust that, defenses can flip overnight. That San Fran just lost Fred Warner. I think Atlanta's playing San Fran this week, right? They're down Bosa, they're down Warner. Are you just starting everyone on Atlanta now? Because it's on the Penix on the road is a little sketchy, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think you can probably start everybody on the Falcons this week. I even like Tyler Algier. I think you can flex him in a pinch. He's had 3 games where he was a top 30 running back, I believe. I wrote about it a little bit in my waiver wire article. He's one of the guys I recommended considering picking up. I mean, top 30 running back is you're looking at a flex player right there, right? Like that's the definition of just get me 7 to 10 points, right? And that's what he's been able to do half the time. And then you get the baked in value. Obviously not for starting this week. Potentially, I guess, more so long term. You get the value of if something happens to Bijan,
oh god,
Algier's just going to step right in.
Yeah,
he's going to be a smash play. I mean, he scored a touchdown on what was a 20-something yard run yesterday. Right? They trust Algier. Obviously, you don't play him over Bijan because Bijan's incredible, but they certainly trust Algier and are willing to give him carries on the goal line and in big spots. That if Bijan goes down, I don't think they're going to be in a rush to add somebody to split the work because I think they'll give a large share of it to Algier.
So Seth, we're going to get your question right here. He says that's how Minnesota, they were nuts against the run last year with a not so good secondary, and now it's flipped. Now that one I still think is a bit fraudulent because they don't have anyone in their secondary. It's just a super blitz heavy team. I think they haven't really played great quarterbacks, right? They played overseas. They played Caleb earlier in the season when he didn't really know the system. Though that's my favorite metric, old school Tampa or Tampa kind of now when they're really good against the run, terrible against the pass. It's going to be a pass above the neutral pass rate is going to be very high, and it's those are the matchups where it's I will take a below average kind of player over my stud if I know that matchup is just perfectly suited for them.
I think it kind of depends on the stud. I'm along the lines of start your studs, but obviously as you get into the season and you learn more. I mean, sometimes you have to take the matchup. Like Rico Dowdle is a great example, right? Before the season, if I told you that I was gonna bench Breece Hall for Rico Dowdle in one of my leagues, you would think I was nuts. No, it's exactly what I did, and it paid off by 25 points. So sometimes you have to take the information you have and make that decision.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's just I'm just looking again these rushing defense numbers, right? Seahawks 3.3 yards per carry. They've only given up 2 touchdowns. If I got Derrick Henry playing the Seahawks, and then I got give me a bad starting running back. Arizona, right? Michael Carter, Bam Knight playing the Titans, who are giving up 11 rushing touchdowns. I'm gonna have to seriously consider. This is before the Bam Knight Michael Carter split. If it was just Michael Carter. I have to seriously consider playing Michael Carter over Derrick Henry because, the power of these numbers. We've got enough of a sample size, but there are kind of weird exceptions like the Giants-Eagles game, right? Giants, terrible against the run. Everyone was saying Saquon revenge game, Saquon huge game, right? Giants giving up 5.1 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns. Saquon didn't have a big game. So, there are exceptions to all the numbers.
No, there's exceptions to everything, but no, I think the general point holds true for sure.
Okay, Seth, let's get your trade Trevor. Okay, so trade Trevor. What is this? One of Pickens, Nico, Ridley, and Javonte for Tay or T. You're gonna have to help me out here. T Higgins, anytime Saquon. Like my team, lost neighbors, Hampton. You're gonna have to help me out. So Trevor, Pickens. Oh, Pickens or Nico. Okay, who would you rather have, Pickens or Nico? Right. Pickens obviously is on this crazy run. Devontae Adams, thank you.
Yeah. I would rather have this is gonna sound a little nuts, right? I'd rather have George Pickens. I think as of right now, like I'd rather have George Pickens. Right? Even knowing CeeDee Lamb's gonna come back, I'd rather have George Pickens. I think rest of season.
Nah, it's Nico. It's because Pickens has been crazy, but Lamb's probably back. We saw with Lamb, like Pickens is still great, but he's getting like 3 for 62, maybe a touchdown, right? Whereas now, he's getting 8 for 180. But it's just Nico. Nico is that guy. We know he's that guy. I get Houston offense sucks. Their defense is good. It'd be kind of nice to sell because then Dallas is in the perfect situation. What if Lamb gets hurt again? But I can't overreact to a 3-game Pickens sample and ditch my boy Nico. So okay, let's say Trevor, Pickens, Ridley, and Javonte, and then you're getting Devontae, Danny Dimes, and Saquon. I mean, I don't know. Would you want to trade for Saquon? Like, what's the value that Saquon's getting put at here?
Yeah, I think I'd probably just stay put. I just keep Pickens, Nico, Ridley's. I don't know. Ridley might even be droppable, but either way,
he is. He got hurt, hamstring. He couldn't run on it. He's toast.
Yeah, like I mean, I would just keep Pickens, Nico, and Javonte, and just be happy with my team, to be honest.
Well, because it's like Trevor, Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes is better. Trevor Lawrence is getting a little better. Brian Thomas Jr. is a little back. And the Jags have that terrible secondary. They're giving up a lot of passing yards. And the rushing game's kind of fallen off. So I do think Jags are passing game's going to be good. But Danny Dimes clearly above him. And then
I did miss the Trevor Lawrence part.
Huh?
But I said I did miss the Trevor Lawrence part. I don't think it changes my mind. But yeah, go ahead, continue.
Javonte, Saquon, I mean, you got to like Saquon better, but Javonte's been better in almost every game. So it's really kind of maybe those even each other out. So it's really Pickens and Nico for Devontae Adams. And Puka out a week or two. The Rams have a bye week next. I don't want to be investing in Devontae Adams long term. He's 32. He's looked great. I don't want a part of the Rams. Matt Stafford's old. He might be breaking down. Right, so it's like I don't want Saquon, who's looked terrible, and Devontae Adams, who I know is going to break down. So I wouldn't do it. That sucks. He lost neighbors in Hampton. Anthony can share misery with you.
Yeah, that's so brutal. That is just. I hate that for you, but no, I think you're just kind of be trying to do a little too much.
Trading is fun though.
It is.
He's a weird spot. Kyron and Trevor at QBs. You're kind of losing me, my man. Kyron, is there another Kyler?
Probably Kyler. I'm guessing it's Still have Kyron, Javonte, JMT. Yeah, Kyler. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably just stick with. I'd probably just keep my team as is.
I get it. I'd like to. What do you think his record is? He's got a few little Hampton. He only got that week 2 neighbors. Kyler sucks. Trevor's kind of sucks. He's probably. You're probably what 3? Javonte 3-3. 3-3.
4-2.
4-2. Okay, that's optimistic. I do get it. Your team is weird. I would try and get rid of Kyler because he's a loser. But you need him to play first. I would. 5-1.
Man, that is that. That's awesome for losing neighbors and Hampton. I just keep it rolling. Maybe if you lose a couple and you're 5-3 and the deadline, you're kind of the week of the deadline and you want to make a move and reassess, then that's fine. But right now, especially being 5-1, I wouldn't try to do a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah, Hampton. They said Hampton's not going to be back. It's 4 weeks. Hampton might be toast. So
I heard. I can't remember, and this was like a week ago, but I heard that it could be like
8 weeks.
I think I saw either like week 12 or like 12 weeks or something. Like it could just be a long time.
I'd assume you're not getting Hampton back, and then if you do, bonus. But I'm trying to improve your QB. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to improve your QB. So maybe somebody will take Hampton for anybody. Okay, hey guys, losers trade. Arthur Cirillo. Okay, 18-team dynasty. Man, that's a big boy league. 0.25 point per carry. You got Waller, Puka, Judy, Olave, Purdy. Okay, so it's just some crazy trade. Okay, Waller dynasty's probably got a 3-game. Puka, Judy sucks again. Olave's good, but he's concussion away. Purdy I like. and was it Jonathan Brooks? Jonathan Brooks in Carolina, who's had like 2 ACL surgeries.
That's my guess. I don't know what other Jay Brooks it would be.
So you got like 8 injury prone. You got like 6 injury prone players who are half are already hurt, and you gave up my guy Rome. You gave up T. Higgins, Herbert, Jacoby, Spears, Likely. It's not my favorite trade.
I mean, I think if we're being completely honest, Puka is he's definitely the best player in this trade, and Puka might be like the Dynasty 101, right? So like that has to like
really
maybe Bijan. But yeah, like
just because he's so injury prone.
Like Dynasty League, like who Dynasty startup, 1 QB, half PPR, regular normal settings, like who you taking over Puka? Bijan. Sure.
I don't know. Yeah, am I taking Gibbs? Am I taking Chase?
Are you taking Gibbs? Are you taking your guy JSN? Like, it's tough. Like Puka might be the 101 in Dynasty. Like he's at least a 103.
That's true. So, okay, best player in the trade.
Like he's at least like you definitely got the best player in the trade. I really hate giving up Rome. I hate giving up T too. Although I mean, I kind of have a gripe with T Higgins and what his value is compared to what we've actually gotten throughout his career. I'm assuming it's 1 quarterback because you didn't specify, but Herbert's nice. Jacoby is, fine. Spears is whatever. Likely's whatever.
No.
Waller.
No.
Waller.
Tyjae Spears and Isaiah Likely are studs. Isaiah Likely was my top 5 summer must-have target. He was there with Drake May. He was Rome. He was on the list. So he is going to be a monster. Mark Andrews is toast. They love passing tight ends in the red zone. Isaiah Likely is going to win you leagues.
I like Isaiah Likely.
He's a monster. He's tight end in week 1, and when they needed to play against Buffalo, where'd they go? They went to Isaiah Likely, and he scored a touchdown. He's a monster. He's just got to get healthy. He's got to get the usage. They got to get Lamar back. So I am the biggest likely truth in the world. And Tyjae Spears, he had 3 RB1 finishes to finish the year in the fantasy playoffs. He's the best running back on the team. He will overtake Tony Pollard. They just fired their coach, Callahan. But that offense sucks, so it's worse. So it's just I'm very, very high in Spears and Likely. So that's for me. And Rome's my guy. So, but I get it. Dynasty Puka 101. That's value is pretty nice.
I think the value here is fine. I just the value here is fine. I understand why you make the trade. I don't know if I would have I don't think you lost the trade. I think if anything, it's probably even and maybe a little team dependent with some more context. But just personally for me, trades involving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players and then 5, 11, 12 players, you're swapping half your team. I just tend to be nah, I'm just going to stick with what I just feel like it just ends up being such a wash at the end of it. Unless you get an upgrade at a position you needed and, you had depth at another position. But it's probably a wash, but you did get the best player in Dynasty for me, which is Puka Nacua. And then Olave is still getting 10 targets a game. They're not great targets, but he's getting 10 targets a game and he's still a really good young player. So, it's fine, but.
And also, nobody knows anything. It's a Dynasty League. Maybe you lost the trade today, and in 2 weeks you won it, and in 2 years you lost it, and in 6 months you won it, right? This is going to flip 100 times.
Yeah, right now it looks bad because Puka is hurt, and we don't know exactly how long he's going to miss. Right now, you essentially, to start this week, you have, Waller, Judy, and Olave, right? So, that looks – and you gave up Rome and T. Higgins. That looks like it sucks for, this
and
week.
Herbert. Herbert's leading the league.
Yeah, it's true. So, if, this week, you definitely lost. But obviously, Dynasty, we're not focused on 1 week, right? So, I think it's fair and I think it's fine. I don't really have. I think the side you gave up has more depth as far as the talent, but you definitely got, like I said, the best player in the trade.
So the rest of the team, Caleb, so QB, Scat, okay. Yeah, Scat, Hubbard, Puka, Olave, Judy, Laporta, Waller. So the Waller's kind of useless because Laporta's playing well, right?
But I think just kind of a backup reserve option, bye-week filler.
Yeah, but he's old. In Dynasty, he's almost if you're not playing him, he's got no value, kind of, right?
Yeah, but if you're getting Puka and you got to get
Y'all suggested I get a better wide receiver 1, so I got Puka. Okay. Well played.
I love that. Did he come on last week? Seth, did you come on last week and talk about that? and you upgraded, and now we're talking about it again because I love
That's
that.
funny.
Good for
That's
you. In
funny.
that case, I think it's a win. Good
And
for
also,
you.
if you're 5-1, win now. I mean, you want the best player in the trade, so you get
I mean, I
Puka.
like it.
If Puka's healthy, you probably win. You probably win the league. Okay, I love it. He said using our own words against us.
I know, right? That's good. I
Well
appreciate
played.
that.
Oh, all right, Cam Daddy. Oh, who's that? Is that Trump? No.
Oh, he's talking about he had a
Oh, I'm
question.
looking at his
Yeah.
avatar. I'm trying to figure out who that is in Dragon Ball.
Oh, I'm not sure, but he's got to follow the question. What you have highlighted is the follow up to his question, which is asking if it was worth driving Chris Godwin.
All right, Cam Daddy, if you're still watching, tell me who that avatar is in Dragon Ball. Trunks is my guess, but is it like maybe a Gotan, something crazy? Anyways, okay, Chris Godwin dropping 10-man, easy. Get rid of him, ship him out, send him.
Yeah, I don't really even need the context of who else you're. Well, I guess theoretically you do, right?
Yeah.
Like you have terrible receivers, no, you're probably gonna need. But just seeing you have Ladd, Worthy, Terry, Keenan. I mean, yeah, I think. Well, I don't love. I mean, yeah,
Ladd stud, Worthy stud, Terry stud, Keenan probably toast, Golden stud.
Well, I mean, I think Ladd will probably end up being a stud again. Especially now that they don't have a running back and QJ was kind of hurt. Like I do think Ladd's going to be back here. I think he was back this week. He had like 100 yards. He had 100 yards, right? I think.
Yeah, and Keenan's fell off. So Johnson, Ladd touchdown. It was like 8-9 for 90. He was Ladd's back. So I like your wide receivers. Godwin's out. Even if he's healthy, you're not playing him. He rehurt his fibula. It's the wide receivers are cursed. He's 29, but his body's 32. I kind of liked him, but in a 14-man, I'd drop him. So in a 10-man, I'd ship him out.
What I would do is before you drop, because obviously you can drop him, but what I would probably try to do is just see if you can, maybe package Godwin and Keenan to get like a little upgrade at a receiver or something, right? Not even anything crazy, but like
it's just 10-man. Nobody's taking Godwin.
You might as well. I mean, he's rostered, right? You might as well throw it out there. I'm not saying it's likely going to happen, but yes, to answer the question, Chris Godwin is droppable in 10-man leagues, probably in 12-man leagues too.
Who would you look to pick up that might be available? Would you take a flyer on somebody on Tampa, like the Tez Johnson, Sterling Shepard, some other guy, Cameron Johnson or something?
You
don't really want flyer. Trey Tucker might be available, right? Like Romeo Dobbs might be available.
I would probably drop him for Dobbs. I don't know that I would drop him for another Bucs receiver because, like, I mean, they got to throw the ball to somebody, right? Like, Buka's out.
Still gonna sling it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess maybe Shep, maybe Tess Johnson. But I mean, in a 10-man league, there's probably better options on the waiver, I would imagine.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to give us a couple options on the wire, we'll let you know. All right. So Seth says deal Kyler, Kraft, Hampton for McBride and Darnold. Try to tone it down. Okay, this is more reasonable. I mean, Tucker Kraft has been crazy. I think he's tackled inside the one, 3 times or something. So realistically, he's kind of the best tight end on the season. McBride scored these 2 1-yard touchdowns, but he kind of got unlocked with Jacoby. My biggest fear with McBride this season was Kyler. Darnold's pretty great, but 1 QB league, he's more of a fringe play, matchup play. So you'd be doing this trade. I don't know why you'd be doing this. You'd be doing this trade just to get the Darnold upgrade over Kyler because the Tucker Kraft McBride's fairly neutral.
I do this trade. I would rather have Darnold McBride. Again, we talked about it a little earlier. Like Hampton, I'm stashing him on my IR because you never know. But I'm not really banking on getting him back at all. Maybe in the playoffs, and then I would expect him to kind of have some rust or be worked in a little bit. So I'm not expecting anything from Hampton. I think Darnold is better than Kyler, and McBride is better than Kraft. So I'm just gonna make that trade and feel good about it.
Okay, I'm just looking to the next little bit. Easiest schedules: it's Chicago, Jets, Pats, Browns, Jacksonville. The hardest schedules: Washington, Vegas, Cardinals, Tampa, Cincy. So I do that. If Cardinals got a tough schedule, I don't want any part of Kyler. So
McBride is still gonna eat. He's also a Cardinal, but he's still gonna eat. He's still gonna get his. He's the best target on the team. So
Okay. We did do Arthur. Gogeta Blue. Okay. Yeah, I knew it'd be something crazy. I don't even know. So that's like we won't make the Dragon Ball podcast. What's that? Is it Gohan and Vegeta? Because that sounds like the greatest combo ever. I'm just worried about this Godwin injury, and I need a spot. I would. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
you
can
took
drop him.
Godwin late. You wouldn't. It's a 10 team. You're not playing Godwin anyway. You're kind of over stressing. This Godwin injury is almost the best thing that could happen for you because now you just get to drop him and you're in a 10 man, so the wire is going to be packed. I bet there's studs. I bet Wandale Robinson might be on the wire.
Yeah, he might be.
Okay. So that caught us up. Okay, cool. So 6:15. So we'll go maybe 5-10 more minutes. Let's do. I wanted to redraft the first round. So let's say the first round you got first pick. Is it easy for you?
Yeah. You want to start? We'll start with 1-on-1 and work our way down. Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously.
Right. Yeah. So the 1-on-1 for me. I mean, I feel like there's definitely a tier, but the 1-on-1 for me right now is Jonathan Taylor.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor is my 1-on-1. He's just getting all of the work. He's the number 1 running back on the season. They don't have a backup like they do with Algier and the Falcons for Bijan. Like, I think that Daniel Jones, the fact that he is a competent passer as well as a runner has really opened things up as well. Whereas with Anthony Richardson, you don't have to defend the pass as much because he completed maybe 50% of his passes, right? So they were able to focus on the run game, whether it was Taylor or Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is also a better runner than Daniel Jones, so maybe they give a little more run to Jonathan Taylor, where they would have ran a QB run. They're going to give it to Taylor instead. So yeah, I mean Jonathan Taylor is my one. I won't say it was the easiest decision, but
I have Bijan so close. I mean, he's essentially putting up wide receiver stats like CMC. I mean, we just saw him just destroy the Bills, but the Bills are terrible against the run. I have Bijan right there with Jonathan Taylor because Bijan's also never missed a game. Taylor is a little injury prone, so I don't have it that far away. And then if it's PPR, CMC's the RB1. But we'll just keep going. We'll follow up here with these guys, and we'll try and jump back to that. So on the wire, he's got Jerry Jeudy, Trey Tucker, Darnell Mooney, Keyshawn Butte, Josh Downs, Tez, Christian Kirk, Troy Franklin, Travis Hunter, the Tennessee guy, Hollywood, he's toast with Rashee Rice. Coker's a nice stash, but in deeper league. Judy's toast. Trey Tucker, I think you just have to pick up Trey Tucker, right?
It'd be Tucker or Booty for me, but I would go Tucker over Booty. But
Booty just had 2 touchdowns.
Maybe Downs. Maybe Josh Downs as well, but
I love Downs too.
Yeah, those would be the 3. I would drop Godwin for any of those 3.
Yeah, I'd lean Tucker but especially if Bowers is going to miss time. But you're probably looking short like that, or Downs just scored 2, and I love Josh Downs. I think if everything was neutral, Josh Downs is easy, but you got to go based on what's been happening this season. That's different tweet. Okay, and then Arthur says, I'm assuming Hubbard and Puka are out. Hubbard might be back. Puka's definitely probably going to be out. I can't watch Baker. Cam Johnson. Wait,
who's Cam Johnson?
I think that's the Bucs receiver.
Oh my God,
he scored. But Corum's getting a little bit of work. It's more like I think it was like 15 carries to 5. Kyron Tracy's toast. It's a scat, but Scat's not going to be healthy long term because he plays with a concussion. Bucs receiver, yeah. And him and Tez Johnson. It's hard predicting how that wide receiver room is going to shake out. I think Kadon's going to be the clear target. Do you like Xavier Leggett? Because Jalen Coker is probably coming back.
No, I mean I never liked Xavier Leggett.
That's true either.
I certainly don't like him 6 weeks into the season. I think he just scored his first touchdown. Like, no, this is what a downgrade to go from Puka and Hubbard to one of these guys. I mean, I think you have to go Corum, right? Like he's gonna get.
I think you go Johnson. Take the mystery box. Maybe if you get Baker's wide receiver 1.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah. No, you're right. Because Corum is behind Kyron. I was just gonna say he's kind of he's gonna get something, but you're right with all the injuries in Tampa's wide receiver room. Like, could be anybody. Could be Shepard. Could be Ted Johnson.
Local reporters say he might be the wide receiver 1. Local reporters.
All those options are pretty bad. So yeah, just go with the biggest mystery.
Yeah. And like, if you get Baker's wide receiver 1, he's going to get hurt because that's what happens to Bucks receivers. But you
He'll
might
probably
get
score a
80
touchdown
yards.
beforehand. Yeah, I'll probably score before he gets hurt, so it'll be okay.
Okay, we're just gonna go a minute or two, so we're not really gonna get through the first round. Who are you targeting second half of the season? Like people I keep seeing on Twitter, people saying like trade for Rashee Rice, right? It's
Yeah, it's way too late for
that. Yeah, like the guy who's been stashing him for 6 weeks doing this is gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll give you Rashee Rice for like
I know, right?
Tyrone
Like
Tracy and
that's
Mike
so
Evans.
funny. Speaking of Rashee Rice, real quick, and then I'll answer your question. I was 0-3 in the league, and I made the bold decision to trade Cortland Sutton and Chuba Hubbard for Rashee Rice and James Cook.
You were 0-3 and did
I
that?
was 0-3, and I traded for Rashee Rice. I said my running back room was not very good. My wide receiver room was excellent. So I was like, you know what? I'm either going to supercharge my team or we're just going to go 0-14. Like I'm already 0-3. Like what does it matter? And now I'm 3-3, and I have Rashee Rice slotted next to Justin Jefferson and Drake London.
Wow.
So I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yeah, I mean James Cook's on a bye, but top 5 running back on the season. Like that's also really good to add.
Yeah, great.
So yeah, the time to trade for Rashee Rice was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
it's not happening anymore. But I mean,
you know who the QB1 of the season is?
QB1 on the season, it's not Lamar, not Josh Allen. I think Pat Mahomes is 2. It's not. Pat Mahomes is 1.
Yeah, because he's leading the team in rushing yards.
Holy smokes!
I
know. I had to correct myself real quick. But so I mean, I guess to answer your question, as far as like the guy that like I'm targeting to end this season, there's a couple of different options, but like JSN has just been so good.
Yeah, but you're not getting nobody's trading JSN. Like I had a guy, I was trying to get Puka off a guy. Like
I know, and that's the problem. But like JSN, like I would. JSN's the guy that I want. I think at this point, he's like getting like double-digit targets every game. Like he's the only target. Like it's just so awesome.
No, but like, if we're talking studs, like Jahmyr Gibbs has kind of been underwhelming, right? He's not getting involved in the passing game. He's not getting a ton of carries. You know, someone like that, an underperforming stud like Brian Thomas Jr. just started playing well, so you might not be able to get him. Like Ladd, you could have got Ladd for $1 2 weeks ago, right?
You know, I tried to trade for that. I tried to trade Jalen Waddle and Jake Ferguson for Ladd McConkey like 2 weeks ago, and it got declined.
A fun trade.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. And the guy's a Dallas fan, so I was like, you know, hey, I'll give you tight end 1 on the year, I think, right?
I think so.
Ferguson, 2 tight end 2 on the year by a point. Tyler Warren's number 1. But I mean, we've kind of lost basis of the question here. I mean, Nico Collins, I know I kind of talked a little bit before. He would be a good guy to buy low on because we've seen him do it. Ladd McConkey, he did score 16 points, so it might be a little tougher to buy low because he's shown some life. But that could be a guy that you could look at.
Arthur said he was a mega fleece. Your Rashee Rice trade. For you fleeced.
I know. I figured as much. I got. I think the thing I did smart with that trade because Cortland Sutton's still great. He just had a bad week, but he's still great, right? I think the best thing I did was get out of Chuba Hubbard when I did. That was probably what swayed the trade in my favor, to be honest. Because if Chuba Hubbard was still balling out, like it's probably like pretty relatively even at the moment.
Yeah, it's just tough because also we got the trades, like the real NFL trade deadline is going to come up, and there are trades now. Mm-hmm. So maybe we're going to do a pod maybe next week. We'll talk about the best players to stash. Like, because if you can pick up Kendry Miller and Kamara gets traded, right? It's just like kaboom. Isaiah Davis if Breece Hall gets traded. So
one guy I wrote about in my waiver article, and he's probably owned in a lot of the competitive leagues, but Tajay Spears is still owned in less than 50% of leagues. He outsnapped Tony Pollard this week. He didn't outtouch him, but he outsnapped him. So we're stepping in the right direction. And you got to think like the Titans are just so bad. Like they might just want to like get all the young guys to work. Maybe Tony Pollard gets traded to like the Chiefs or just a team that needs a running back, right? Or the Chargers. And then all of a sudden Tajay Spears is the guy with just Julius Chestnut behind him. So like I think Tajay Spears might be if it might be a good guy to go after, go get. You can get him really cheap. Might be one of those guys to stash with the trade deadline coming up, like you mentioned. That was probably the one, I guess, like the low, because everyone's kind of been talking about Kendra Miller with Kamara being on the.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's my one that I at least haven't seen anybody talk about, like Tony Pollard being moved. So that's one that I would, and I don't have any like information than the regular Twitter bozo does, right? But that's just like a thought, like
Twitter bozo,
right? Like, what if Pollard? He's an aging player on a terrible team. Like, why not try to get a 6th round pick for him and just go with it?
Yeah, there's no reason for Tennessee to play him. See if Spears is a guy,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, so like that would be the one guy, not necessarily like my top guy, but just like thinking out loud here. Tajay Spears would be, I think, a good target to try to buy now. It might be nice, but yeah.
That's perfect. Okay, I think that's going to do it for us, guys. So, Anthony, thanks for coming on Tuesday. I love doing the Tuesday pod because we can kind of take it anywhere. We're a little after. We're not doing a full review of the week, and also I haven't even dug into this next week yet, so I barely even know the schedule. So we just kind of get to go wherever it takes us. Guys, thanks for all the questions. We love questions. If you ever want to just tweet at one of us, a trade proposal, you can do that, or DM us. Everything. Check us out on our Discord, but make sure to come over to YouTube so you can like, subscribe, and actually drop comments. Okay, Anthony, anything last? Quickly, who's your waiver wire crown jewel?
My waiver wire crown jewel this week is Kamani Vidal. I understand he's still 34%. So in some competitive leagues, probably picked up, just had an explosive week. He had 2/3 of the snaps. Which I think was a bit surprising considering was it Haskins, was it Vidal? Like he got the majority of the running back touches. Go get Kamani. Yeah, go get Kamani Vidal if he's still out there.
Kamani Vidal. Okay, that's gonna do it for us. So we'll make sure to come back Thursday. We'll be doing our Thursday night preview show, and then also Sunday. Hopefully, Anthony will be back on Sunday. Time will tell. And until then, we will see you guys soon.
Yeah, good luck on your waiver wires.